You're right on time for Hope TV Newswatch on the second day of April 2024. A very good evening to you and welcome to the broadcast. My name is Kimani and my co-presenter on the sign language interpretation tonight is Boniface Morethi. Now, striking doctors have urged President William Ruto to intervene in their stalemate with the Ministry of Health, which has seen them boycott work for 3 weeks now. The medics have been on strike since the 14th of March in protest of the government's failure to post medical interns and the Health Ministry's non-adherence to their 2017 collective bargaining agreement. Nelias Wanjiru begins our bulletin with the following story.
As the nationwide Doctors' Industrial Action entered its 20th day today, the Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Union KMPDU Secretary General David Atela has now implored President Ruto to intervene, maintaining they will not back down until their demands are met.
Ideally, we are ready to go for 80% of the time. That means we can go up to 100 days, and that is to have this thing implemented. We may go 200 days, as I've always said. And I say we may even go up to eternity until the time they feel like, no, we need to have these issues resolved. Because the collective bargaining agreement is a contract between the doctors and the employer, which is both the national government and the county government. The moment that they have realized and they feel like they can manipulate it, they can ignore it, they can step on it, it means that there's no respect that is existing between the government and the union.
Atela said they are determined to go on with the strike for months, arguing that the health ministry has exhibited a contentious attitude in the negotiations. He said doctors hold the government responsible for the suffering of Kenyans whose health care has been in disarray since last month.
Pay the postgraduate fees for the doctors who are wallowing in desperation in the universities. They must actually promote the doctors in the counties. They must have a plan to employ doctors. We have a big shortage that has never been seen before. Yet we have over 4,000 doctors that have not been employed. Yet some counties also give them exploitative contracts. We have KNH exploiting these doctors. So we are saying as a union, this is day 20 of our strike, and we will not back down. Yes. We are going to continue and join the government the way we joined it. You have seen we've had a lot of negotiations in which the government comes with no plan.
This comes as services at all health facilities have been paralyzed after the doctors went on strike over the county's inability to promote staff, among other grievances. Giving example with Kirugua Level 5 Hospital, where all services were paralyzed, Atela has urged the Council of Governors Chair and Kirinyaga County Governor Anne Waiguru to stop influencing other governors and respect the health workers' demands.
And we were really shocked to realize that these doctors of Kirinyaga have not even gotten their January salaries.
Shame.
So there's no way you can come and incite other governors when the doctors in your county are downtrodden. In Kirugua Level 4 or Level 5, we have one doctor in the theater from January to December. A county of 640,000 population has only 15 doctors. Here it's supposed to have 100. So I think it's high time this was tied up.
The talks between KMPDU and Health Ministry have been unfruitful as medics accuse the government of non-compliance with the court's directive, intimidation and refusal to adjust their stance. Clinical officers on Monday joined doctors in the downing their tools, further worsening the medical crisis in Level 2 to Level 5 hospitals nationwide. Reporting for Hope TV Newswatch, my name is Nelias Wanjiru.
Thank you so much, Nelias, for that report. Now, President William Ruto is set to depart the country for an official visit to the two West African states. According to a statement by State House spokesperson Hussein Mohammed, President William Ruto will head to Ghana for a state visit and later on to Guinea-Bissau for a state visit. This will be Ruto's first visit to Ghana since he took the presidency in September 2022. During his visits, the head of state will hold talks with President Nana Akufo-Addo of Ghana and Umaro Sissoco Embalo of Guinea-Bissau, aiming to strengthen diplomatic, trade, cooperation and historical ties between Kenya and the two West African nations. Moving on swiftly, and Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has warned against increased attacks on police officers in the line of duty during the ongoing nationwide crackdown against illicit brew and drug abuse. Speaking as he visited Juja Police Station, OCS Chief Inspector John Misoi, who is receiving treatment at Avenue Hospital in Thika after he was injured by illicit alcohol brewers and sellers during a crackdown at Gashororo slums in Juja town. The DP warned that the government will not spare anyone found culpable of committing such heinous crimes against officers.
I want to assure our police officers, wherever they are, that the government will protect them, is fully behind them. And I needed to thank all our police officers in the entire country, from the Inspector General of Police, the 2 Deputy Inspector Generals, all the county and regional security teams, all the non-commissioned officers, down to the constables, the rank and file, for the good job that they are doing. And I want to assure our officers that the Presidential Task Force on Police Reforms was presented to the President. The recommendations were accepted, and they are being worked out. And from July 1, their terms of service will be reviewed by 40% progressively in 3 years. Again, we are looking at insurance for our police officers who get injured in the line of duty. Again, those who lose their lives in the course of duty, we are having a package that will take care of their families so that they don't suffer. So let me assure our police officers and administration officers across the country that the government will take care of them, and we want to urge them to proceed with this war without any interruption, without being discouraged, and this war must be won. And let me reiterate on behalf of the President that further as the meeting that was held in my office with our security commanders from the regions and from the counties, this war must be won, and there is no stopping until this menace is eradicated.
Interior Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki has unveiled significant changes in the country's approach to border control with neighboring nations, emphasizing on the integration of advanced technology at border points. Speaking during the first National Border Management Conference attended by delegates from Tanzania, Somalia, Sudan, Ethiopia and Uganda, CS Kindiki revealed that there will be more reliance on artificial intelligence and cloud computing at the border points to heighten national security. And as Grace Ahati now reports, the CS has maintained that it is time to also consider the private sector as a key player in border control due to their increasing role in the whole space of human capital movement and trade.
In a bid to enhance the country's border security and efficiency, the government has made significant investments in equipping security agencies with latest technology and resources to combat complex security threats such as terrorism, human trafficking, and trafficking in narcotics. Interior Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki today hosted the first National Border Management Conference attended by delegates from Tanzania, Somalia, Sudan, Ethiopia, and Uganda, where he emphasized that the future of border management will prioritize security while minimizing physical contact through advanced technological solutions for checks and controls. He highlighted that Kenya's dedication to border security extends beyond protecting its own sovereignty, as it also seeks to foster regional cooperation and stimulate economic growth both domestically and across neighboring regions.
Because of the complexity of the security threats that we continue to face across the world, there is need for huge investments in border control technology. And for many countries, including countries that are fairly well off economically, managing borders in the light of modern threats requires huge resources, and not many countries are able to put together the kind of technology that is required for effective border control and management.
Kindiki has at the same time highlighted Kenya's intention to involve the private sector in border control efforts, recognizing the pivotal role of the sector in facilitating human capital movement and trade.
The border of the future is also going to be a synergy, connection, and shared responsibilities between the public and private players. And therefore, this area, which has traditionally been government-driven, is going to be tempered or a bit influenced also by private sector because of the increasing role of private players, not only in the whole space of human capital movement, trade, and so forth and so on.
Emphasizing the importance of cooperation among stakeholders, Kindiki underscored that addressing the multifaceted challenges of border security requires a collective effort, stressing that no single agency can tackle these issues alone.
Other than the intra-national cooperation, there is of course need for bilateral coordination, which is the reason why all our brothers and sisters from the neighboring countries are here, because we are all one, and what they are doing in their countries is important to us, the same way what we are doing here in Kenya is important to them.
The conference comes after the government last month launched the revised Kenya Coordinated Border Management Program, KCBMP, which aims to further strengthen national security. Reporting for Hope TV Newswatch, I'm Grace Ahati.
Thank you so much, Grace, for that report. The United Democratic Alliance Party has made fresh appointments ahead of its upcoming grassroots elections set to begin this month. In a statement issued by UDA Secretary General Cleophas Malala, the National Steering Committee, officiated by President William Ruto today, appointed KRA Chairperson Anthony Mwaura as the chairperson of the National Elections Board and Veronica Kiberenge as vice chairperson. Other members of the Elections Board include Lydia Munika, Jimmy Kaingi, Mary Mutinga, Halake Dida, and Linda Kiome. Kenya Power and Lighting Company Board Chair Joy Mdivo, on the other hand, has been appointed as the head of the Electoral Dispute Resolution Committee. While you're watching Hope TV News, it's now time for a quick break, but we still have much more ahead, so see you on the other side.
In order to keep hope alive in the airwaves, Hope Media has a couple of initiatives. Friends of Hope. Friends of Hope is you and I forming a team of well-wishers and volunteers who give in cash and kind to support in spreading the gospel at Hope Media. Currently, Hope Media is running a campaign under Friends of Hope dubbed 100 for 1. Through the campaign, Hope Media is asking Hope FM and Hope TV listeners and viewers to give just 100 shillings in order to reach one more soul with the message of hope and the gospel. Engage with us on our social media platforms at Hope FM Live and at Hope TV Kenya. Kuwa rafiki mso leo.
To get Ebenezer by Jane Allaire as your Skiza tune, SMS the word Skiza 88300023 and send to 811. Hope Skiza, spreading the hope.
Ebenezer, you've been our God. Ebenezer, 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 oh, Ebenezer, you've been our God. This far.
Thank you for choosing Hope TV, the channel that brings you hope, entertainment, and inspiration. We value you and would like to serve you better. Talk to us by scanning this QR code on your screen or go to our social media page at Hope TV Kenya and click on the survey link by the name Hope TV Survey. It will just take a few minutes but means the world to us. We value your feedback. Hope TV, look and live.
Wewe ni Mungu usiyelala, na ibada yangu nakupa wewe Bwana.
To get Wewe ni Mungu by Evelyn Wanjiru as your Skiza tune, SMS the word Skiza 88300028 and send to 811. Hope Skiza, spreading the hope.
Sijaona kama wewe umepigana vita zangu, nakupa ibada ya moyo wangu usiku wa leo.
Welcome back. You're watching Hope TV Newswatch. Now, 9 years after the terrorist attack at the Garissa University, where 148 people were killed, majority of them being students, survivors of the tragedy from the western region gathered at Bungoma High School to plant trees as a sign of remembrance while calling on the government to help them. Maxim Yu and Evelyn Wanakacha, who are survivors, say they are still affected by the tragedy, saying that despite finishing their studies, they have not yet found stable jobs to support them. Duncan Obunga, who survived gunshot wounds on his part, has said that he is going through many challenges in life and it will be good if the government recognized them by helping them find employment.
Leo tumekuwa hapa ni kwa sababu ya tarehe 1 ambayo hiyo jambo litendeka tarehe 2 usiku, pia ku sensitize community juu ya anti-radicalization. Maana yake pia bado terrorists wana recruit young people, na hii ni jambo ambalo tunaweza endelea kulikemea kwa kuhakikisha kuwa shuleni kwetu pia tunawafundisha wale wengine wajitenge na vikundi kama hivi ambavyo vingi vinatengeneza picha za ngono, what is called pornography. Pornographic material ni another form of attack ya terrorists, na ndipo unapata watoto wetu wengi wako katika pornographic material. Kwa katika hali kama hii ndiyo tunawaelekeza kuwa hawa wanataka kuwafanya watoto wakuwe duni, wasiwe na chochote, baadaye wakiwa wako kwa ile hali ya hopelessness, helplessness, wanaweza kuingia katika hivi vikundi wakawa pia wanachangia kwa mambo ya terrorism.
Hiyo kitu imetuathiri sana wanafunzi wengi. Vile tulitoka huko, kuna wanafunzi walikuja wakapata msaada wa scholarship wakaenda kusoma. Wengine hatukupata scholarship, na mpaka saa hizi wengine pia walipata kazi, wengine wako tu wanahangaika. Hii kitu imewaweka nyumbani na wengine wao wanalia mpaka saa hizi. Ukiangalia hata kama serikali yetu ya Kenya haikuwasaidia. Ni serikali zingine kutoka nje kama chairman ndio walikuja wakawasaidia, at least wakapata zile scholarship. So maisha yetu imekuwa ngumu, hata watu wenye tunakaa nao, watu wengi hawatukubali. Wana wazazi wetu na wale wazazi wa wale wenye waliathirika, wakituona wanatuona kama sisi ndio chanzo na sisi tunawakumbusha zile picha. So tumeishi ile maisha ya kuhangaika.
Crossing borders now, and Senegal's once jailed opposition candidate Bassirou Diomaye Faye has today been sworn in as the country's 5th and youngest president ever, promising to restore stability and bring progress in the country. The 44-year-old former tax inspector defeated Amadou Ba, the candidate of outgoing President Macky Sall, during ruling coalition by a landslide in the first round of voting, reflecting high hopes for change in the country of around 18 million. The smooth transition was a welcome boost after 3 years of unprecedented political turmoil in Senegal that had raised concern about democratic backsliding in the coup-prone region of West Africa, where juntas have seized power and cut ties with traditional Western allies in favor of Russia. has engulfed Bumula village in Bungoma County after Lunao Primary School head teacher Fred Lunani was brutally murdered by unknown people yesterday night. According to the family members, Lunani had a family dispute with the first wife after marrying the second wife. The wife, who is suspected of committing the brutality, is being detained at the Bumula police station as the DCI continue with the investigation. The Western Region leadership of the Kenya National Union of Teachers have condemned the incident, urging the security agencies to speed up with the investigation.
Niko hapa kuomboleza kifo cha mume wangu ambaye nimempata amefungwa kwa kamba mikono na miguu kama mwizi. Ni head teacher mzima. Let us all rest in peace.
Na kwa kweli hapo nyuma migogoro imekuwa, si uongo. Is my real cousin. Na kwa kweli complaints imekuwa. Hata mara kadhaa nimekuja katika mji huu nikijaribu kuwashauri, lakini kusema ukweli ni uchungu kwetu sisi. Kwa hivyo ni ombi letu, kwa sababu serikali yuko imeanza uchunguzi. Tafadhali tunaomba wale walitekeleza huu haini, hiki kifo cha ndugu yetu, tafadhali waweke wazi.
Tuko na huzuni mwingi, tunaomba tu serikali tusaidie, kwa sababu huyu mwanamke vile walioa mke mwenza wake alianza kumfina na ndugu yangu huyu. Tulikuwa naye kwa matanga ndugu yangu alikufa. Akaniambia sasa nyinyi wa mama ndio mko mnasumbua sana. Na nimesikia ndugu yangu amekufa, niko na huzuni mwingi sana. Mtuombee kama kanisa na serikali tusaidie tuchue watu ambao walimuua.
Mmeita kwa nyumbani, mkimbia mbio. Mmekuja hapa kuangalia. Simuoni. Sijui watu gani wameua mtoto wangu. Sisi Nelia mtoto wangu, nani mwenyewe ameua.
Tuna huzuni sana kama familia kumpoteza kijana huyu ambaye alikuwa kijana ya maendeleo, kijana ya ushauri mkubwa, na alikuwa anakuza familia yake. Sasa amewacha watoto wachanga, hatujui tutafanya namna gani.
Tumeshuhudia kuona mwili wa mwalimu amefungwa miguu, amefungwa mikono. Ni kifo ambacho we want to condemn it. I want to ask the Security Council, the security within our region, to expedite on investigation.
To some sporting action now. Royal Nairobi Golf Club emerged triumphant at the 99th edition of the Tana Hill Shield Golf Tournament, securing a total of 39 points. The tournament witnessed intense competition among 9 formidable teams from Nairobi, Mombasa and the western region of Kenya, all vying for the coveted Tana Hill Shield title. Football Kenya Federation, in conjunction with the Confederation of African Football, has today begun a 3-day club licensing workshop for the men's and the women's Premier League and National Super League clubs. The primary focus will be on the CAF club licensing online platform, featuring comprehensive training sessions for club representatives on platform usage. They'll also receive detailed presentations on the CAF club licensing regulatory framework for both the men's and the women's categories, including explanations of the mandatory criteria for domestic and continental competitions.
So if you look at our clubs, I talked about the under-20 team that has played in Malawi in the last window. Most of those players are coming from our Premier League and NSL clubs. All of them, in fact. A few of them came from outside the country, but the rest are actually players playing in our Premier League. And yet they are under 20. So you can see from the progress we put in and requiring clubs to have youth sides, you can see that we are picking players from those youth sides and from those clubs, and they're playing straight in the national team. So not only is this for the clubs alone, but if we do it well,
we must not lose sight of the fact that CAF itself does not grant or reject a license. Everything is left with member associations to implement. And that's so you must do it in the way that CAF has set. You must not do things according to your own wishes. So in terms of fairness, in terms of balance, in terms of equity, it's still there with the member associations. We encourage member associations to, as much as possible, be fair to its members, to its clubs and all that in implementing it.
Well, with that, we come to the end of our news tonight. Many thanks to you for making time for us. We really do appreciate the value of your time. On behalf of the whole team that made this bulletin a success, have yourselves a blessed night. My name is Kimani, and my co-presenter on the sign language interpretation tonight has been Boniface Morethi.